Hi, girls. It's me again. Today is Wednesday, March 25th, and today we're going to do a Zearn review of lessons 4 through 6. So after you watch this video, you should be able to get through lesson 6 on Zearn. If you want to go ahead, feel free to go ahead because some girls already have, and that's awesome. So we're going to do a review of decomposing fractions. So I want you to start by drawing a tape diagram that represents 2/3. Here's my tape diagram right here. And I'm doing my best to partition it into equal parts. And because I'm representing 2/3, I'm going to just shade in 2 of my thirds. Now I want you to remember 2 things, which was reviewed yesterday. How I can write 2/3 as the sum of unit fractions. 2/3 is equal to 1/3 plus 1/3. Also remembering how we can write this as an equivalent multiplication sentence. 2/3 is equal to 2 times 1/3. I have 2 copies of the 1/3. But now let's compose my 2/3. I want to compose my 2/3 into sixths. So that means I am cutting each third into sixths. Just using a different color so you can see it. So if I decomposed my 2/3 into sixths, think about how many smaller pieces that you have shaded now. Here are my thirds, 1, 2. Here are my sixths, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2/3 is equal to 4/6. Now, that means I can take my 2/3, which I know is equal to 4/6, but I can also rewrite it not only as a sum of unit fractions with thirds, but I can also write it with a sum of unit fractions using my sixths. So 2/3 is also equal to 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6. 1, 2, 3, 4 smaller parts. That means I can also do an equivalent multiplication sentence. How many copies of the 1/6 do I have? I have 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of 4 copies of the 1/6. So 2/3 I can also write as 4 times 1/6, which of course just brings me back to what we said originally, that 2/3 is equal to 4/6. Now what I want to do is move to a different example. And I want to show that 2 fifths is equal to 6/15. So that means I'm going to start with a tape diagram that represents 2/5. So go ahead and get that tape diagram set up, please. So there are my fifths, and I am going to shade in 1, 2 of the fifths. Now, thinking about if I want to show that 2/5 is equal to 6/15, I'm thinking, all right, well, I'm taking my fifths and I'm cutting each fifth into 3 smaller pieces. So that means this fifth is going to be cut into 3 smaller pieces. Okay? And I'm going to do that across my diagram. So here, I started out with 2/5. But now down here, if I'm looking at my smaller pieces, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So I have proven that 2/5 is equal to 6/15. If I think of it as far as unit fractions go, 2/5 is equal to 1/5 plus 1/5. But 2/5 also is equal to 6/15. 1/15, another 15th. Oig, I'm going to have to squeeze it in there. Another 15th, another 15th, another 15th. Hopefully your work is neater than mine. And another 15th. So 2/5 is also equal to 1/15 plus 1/15 plus 1/15 plus 1/15 plus 1/15 plus 1/15. Let's think of the equivalent multiplication sentences for that. I'm going to do those over here. 2/5 is equal to, well, how many copies of the fifths do I have? I have 2 of them. But it's also equal to 15ths. I can break them down into 15ths. How many copies of the 15ths did I have? I had 6 of them. So these are equivalent unit fraction addition sentences and equivalent multiplication sentences for 2/5. What I'd like you to do, or try to do, is if you do have access to Zearn, I want you to try to get through lesson 6, and you can, like I said, you can go ahead if you want. If you haven't been able to access Zearn, I did make up a practice paper for you. Okay, so not standing up very well because there's 2 of them. Okay, so that's going to be your practice for today. I'm going to kind of move this up. I know I haven't had my trusted assistants in my videos. It's harder now that I'm, filming myself here. All right, so let me see here. Hopefully you can zoom in on those once you've paused it and see those. So can't wait again to see all your work. I miss you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.